T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Right now I'm reviewing Transformers Dark of the Moon, Jetwing, Optimus Prime. Now I don't know how it was for anyone else, but for me, this was a surprise on Black Friday 2013 that they were going to be releasing this at Toys R Us. I believe before he was like an Amazon exclusive. When the movie came out, they didn't even sell this in regular stores. So when I saw that they were selling him on Black Friday and for like, I can't remember whether it was $45.99 or $49.99, but when I saw it was at that price, I knew I was almost about to just have to sleep outside of Toys R Us. Funny thing is, I went to Toys R Us about 5 a.m. on Black Friday, not knowing that the store had been open all night from about 8 o'clock Thanksgiving. And I could have just went in there at any point. But luckily they had a few left. And now I can review him now. Movie vs. Optimus Prime. This guy was one of the last in a golden age of humongous leader class Transformer figures. His body was actually released in 2009, but it was retooled to match Dark of the Moon. So he was released around 2011, and the only thing they changed were the abs right here. For some reason it was important for Transformers to have six-pack abs in a third movie. And they also, let me try to get some lighting better. Yeah. But he has an Autobot symbol. Let me pause this. They actually painted his Autobot symbol in the center of his chest there. They retooled a couple of other things, like right here. He gained these spikes on his elbow pads right there. They molded that in, and they took away his swords that used to pop off right here. So they totally changed that, and they retooled something else, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Like these gas tanks are retooled and repurposed. But anywho, let me bring in some comparisons so you can see what I mean when I say big leader class figures. Here he is next to Cybertron Galvatron, who is also a leader class from about 2005. He's roughly the same height and weight, but he's nowhere near as complex as this Optimus right here. Nowhere near, which is kind of a good thing. And here's leader class Starscream from the Revenge of the Fallen line, or I think it was Hunt for Decepticons, I can't remember. It was that filler line after Revenge of the Fallen ended. But anywho, you can see they're about the same size. He's not as complex to transform as Optimus, but he is super intricately detailed, like amazingly intricately detailed. Now we jump to the present, and we have Combiner Wars Leader Class Megatron, and as you can see, things have been downgraded a bit. I mean, he looks good, and he has a good enough alt mode, and he has good paint, but he feels like a knockoff compared to Optimus here. Like he's really cheap feeling in comparison. Like he feels super duper hollow. Like there's nothing to him really. While I'm doing comparisons, here he is next to Masterpiece 2.0 Optimus Prime, who was a Toys R Us exclusive. But anywho, you can see how they match up and their similarities and whatnot. And the things that they took from this guy and put into that guy for the movies. Anywho, there's that. And because he's very popular right now, here he is next to X-Transbot's Apollyon, who we all know is just Masterpiece Megatron. Confession, I've never purchased one movie Megatron toy. They all look crappy to me, and I just couldn't bring myself to buy any of them. So I don't have any movie Megatrons to compare him next to at all. While we're speaking on Masterpiece Transformers, this Optimus right here is the closest thing they've given us to a Masterpiece movie Optimus Prime. I mean, he's almost like completely spot on and perfect. I mean, these details, Like the wheels are on the side like they're supposed to be. Now what's not accurate is these wheels are on a little flap right there on his hips. When in the movies the tires break apart and the wheels get smaller and both wheels are on the legs right there, but you can't get too much realism with an actual toy product. But everything else is like almost spot on where it's supposed to be, and even the transformation is almost spot on with what he was in the first movie. Like when he transformed in that alleyway with Sam, it almost transforms exactly the same way. There's a close-up on his feet. If I have any complaints, or another thing that's not spot on, this paint is close, but in the movie it had like a silver outline around each of these flames, even on these right here. And one complaint I have are the feet. Why they felt the need to put red plastic there is completely confusing. They have gray plastic all over his whole body. They could have easily made that gray because he doesn't have a red toe in the movie. So that's silly. Here's the detail on his hands. Now I do have to mention they do have a version that's a Takara Tomy exclusive, so it's only in Japan and it costs about 5 times more than I paid for this guy. But I believe all his gray is like silver coated, and all that paint has that silver outline and looks way more movie accurate. But you can see details in his gut. These details are nice. This part right here is changed too from the original mode. And when you pull that down, you see his chest moving and him talking. You're gonna hear that voice a lot moving this guy around. But anyway, and of course they have to give us bigger kibble back here because of his electronics, and the batteries go in that compartment right there. I bet if they didn't have to have that battery, his back could have been flatter and more flush. But all of this right here, not these, but this stuff right here is really accurate to the movie, which I really like. I'm gonna go into his articulation before I show his special features. These things on his chest, I never know how to put them, but anywho, his head can turn about that much before it stops and that much before it stops, but his neck is on a weird like 3-part hinge. If you want him to turn more, you can lift it up and then turn his head more. What's really stopping it is they molded, put a little bit too much detail in the back of his neck. I don't know why they wanted to be super accurate with that. Of course, he can look down if you do that, and if you lift it up some more, he can actually like look up, but they gave him that stupid red piece right there for some crazy reason. Anywho, the shoulders can arch in like that and go back, but they kind of come out of their sockets. To do that is really part of the transformation, so you got to put them back in. His arms can go out that much, but they hit this panel here. And of course they can go 360 or like that. He has no bicep swivel, but as you can see right here, as he turned, you can see robotic parts right there. He has an elbow, and he has elbow swivel, and he has a wrist swivel. No waist joint. His legs can kick out that much. Go back about that far. They can go out this much before they're stopped by that wheel right there. He has thigh swivel, which stop about right here. I believe it can go more, but these panels right here get in the way, and it feels like I'm gonna break it. These knee pads are adjustable. They don't stick out, so they get frustrating too because you have to keep repositioning them out slightly. And his knee bends that much, and his feet are on a ball joint. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put ball joints on the figure that as big as this one, but I don't know how it's actually designed under there, but it must be something in there that hits, because he has some stopping points like right there. That little soft stopping point helps him to be able to stand up without falling. Now sometimes you have to work and adjust him to get him, because his back is a little bit back heavy, so you have to stand him like just right so he doesn't fall forward or fall back. And right now, so it's sort of like you have to bend them a little bit. But anywho, I really like his robot mode. So let's start getting into some of his special features and the features of this actual Jetwing set. One special feature that this guy has that the original release and Revenge of the Fallen didn't have are these canisters, these oil tanks come off his back. And they transform into a really, really faithful version of the gun that he had in the first movie. These tanks give me trouble like you don't know what. This first one, what you need to do is extend this right here. I could have swore another little part came out, but I guess this is right. And basically, it's done. Leave that like that. Extend it as far as it can go. Leave it like that. Now this one, good lordy. Let's see. We take that out of there. And rotate this. Come on. Yeah, rotate that back like that. Now, with that out the way, you go ahead and open this part like that. Then you rotate this around like that. Getting that out of the way. And while that's up, let's see. Then you rotate it this way, which I already know is confusing. Then you can go ahead, take this peg and put that into here. Boom. Then you bring this down like that, and bam, you made his weird oil tank gun. And you can go ahead, like move this out of the way, and peg this into his hand. And now he has a gun very reminiscent of the one he had in the movie, or at least the first movie, which I don't remember him not having those tanks on his back after he grabbed this gun. It looked like he grabbed it out of nowhere. But one other special feature is it looks like the gun, his hand has become the gun because it's totally covering his whole hand. Like, where's his hand? It looks like choo-choo-choo. But anywho, let's bring in the jetpack. Now here's the jetpack back, and this thing is positively massive. It's really, really wide and gets a really huge wingspan, which I'll show, of course, more when I connect it. But anyway, we made some cool color choices, but some weird ones at the same time. Cool. These stripes are a nod to the G1 trailer. And he had a trailer in the movie. I can't remember whether it had these stripes or not. But the weird part is, if this is supposed to be like his trailer transforming, I don't know why they felt the need to give him some coloring that's reminiscent of his actual body when the trailer was just all gray. And then they made the funny choice of putting this orange right here, I guess, to simulate him actually firing these, and they do rotate. It would have been cool if they had some type of button in here and that you push it and it rotates. Look like they probably thought of that at one point, because I can't imagine them making this so big like this and not thinking of something like that. Maybe price constraints made them change their mind. But with this thing, you will no longer need those gas tanks as far as a gun, because he has these two massive things. And luckily, they thought ahead. And they put a place where you can actually store the tanks. And you have to put specific ones in here because they connect right there. These things connect to that. So you put this in there. They connect. Put this in here. Come on. Oh, actually, Wait a minute. Oh, I'll put it in the wrong. And then boom. They thought of everything. So now you don't have to worry about those being lost. Because you can't have those on when you connect it to Optimus's back. And this little piece that fell off, let's go ahead and go into that. They peg onto right here. You're supposed to lift these up, pull them off. They have a big plug that pegs around the screw and a peg hole right there. And what these do is you slide them on the back of Optimus's foot to give him a more movie accurate heel that he had. His heel looks like this in the movies. But what they also do is give him extra stability for when you put on the jetpack. But here's the back of his feet right there. And they basically give him extra stability so he won't fall back when he gets on his jetpack, which I'll get into right about now. Prepping for the jetpack, first thing you want to do is smash these down, because they're definitely going to get in the way. Maybe keep the arms off to the side like that. Now on the actual jetpack itself, you want to spread the wings out to whatever orientation. I like to have this wing up and this wing meeting that mark right there. Bring them back. Now you can lift these up, pull these out of the little socket, and this little arm is made out of a soft rubber or soft plastic. Open this handle up. Same dealie over here. Now we grab Optimus. And basically, I'm dropping him all over the place. You lift this over his little back panels right there. Oh, actually, you want to move these down out of the way. Bring this over his back panels. And after it's over his back panels, make sure it gets over his head. And at the same time, I'm going to grab this little clamp here, and it actually hooks onto his back to keep it into place. So once these are over his back panels and that clips onto his back right there, it's clamped together, and now you can go ahead and lift these up and peg them into the back of the jetpack. So now that jetpack isn't going anywhere. And then because these guns, I don't believe they detach. I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, he has little clip points right there on his arm, and he has a clip right there. You go ahead and shove the handle through his hand and clip that to his arm and close it. Put this through here. Oh boy. Close that. And now you have a massive Jetwing Optimus. Let me get them together. And here is Jetwing Optimus Prime. Extra stability or not, you have to play around with this guy to get him standing up, because this jetpack is heavy. And he is extremely heavy. He's probably almost feels as heavy as Metroplex right now. I know I'm probably exaggerating, but he is heavy. And the reason why these cannons are on these flexible joints back there, so you can do things like this and aim the cannons out. And they're positively massive looking on him. I would not want to come near him if I was a Decepticon, because he will tear a hole through it, just about anybody. And he's so huge, it's almost, well, this wingspan is so massive, it's hard to film it right now. Anyway, they're adjustable to whatever you want. When he's not flying, you can have him down like this. Maybe even you can bring him in, bring him back like this. One thing I didn't mention is these thrusters, all four of them, are adjustable on a little ball joint. But he looks really, really nice. Let me try to fiddle around and get him in a pose. Here is a pose. And as you can see, his arms are capable of aiming up. And his head is capable of looking up. So if you had some type of stand, you could get him into some flying poses, flying and shooting poses, if you wanted to. And that's really, really good. For the price I got all of this, I'm extremely satisfied. So let me get to transformation so you can see what he looks like in vehicle mode. And maybe some of you people probably never purchased this guy. Warning, it's gonna take a good long while. I might have to film this twice to get it right, because I always have trouble transforming this thing into a truck. But I want to definitely show people the transformation who haven't seen it already. Just in case it's important though, let me show you how to detach all this. Lift that handle up. Unplug the gun, handle unplug. Then basically grab this handle right there. Wait, after detaching these, grab this handle and it basically just lifts straight off. It made some things come a little undone, but whatever. Now let me get ready for transformation. Transformation. Actually, before transformation, a couple of things I wanted to mention is put the oil tanks back on his back. I didn't mention the spring-loaded panel. I don't know why that's spring-loaded, but cool. And a nitpick of mine, these lights in his eyes. Normally his eyes just look dead, but when you light everything up, they gave him green eyes. Why they did that, or they put a green light in there, I'm not sure. Why they did that instead of blue, I have no clue. But anyway, transformation. And you'll be laughing at the fact that this was marked as ages 5 and up. I usually start with the feet. First thing you want to do, unhinge this panel right there. Get it out the way. Go ahead and rotate that wheel right there till it clicks. Go ahead and take this out, which will become the bumper and headlights. Unsnap his foot. Elongate everything like that. And shut this. And this is all the easy part. Same thing over here. Unhinge the foot. Close that together. Okay. Okay. We can stretch that out. Stretch that out. Now, disassemble his waist from his upper body. And you'll get a fun little sound. Disassemble that. Now, you kick the legs forward like he's sitting down, but it's hard to see him sitting down since he's disassembled from the top part of his body. And what you want to do is, let me lower this. Go ahead and start squeezing this together or pegging it together. You can peg the front together right here. And you know what? I thought this stuff snapped together, but it doesn't. Anyway, this is going to raise forward right there. But you can go ahead, spin these around, get them out the way. Go ahead, snap this together. Alright, pretty much. Keep it there for now. Now the front parts. This is a little less fun. Bring that down, bring that down. Unpeg these arms out of the side of his body. And go ahead and I always mess up on this part, so let me pause and practice. So, you unhinge the shoulders out of there. Well, unplug them. They basically unaccordion right there. So then you want to rotate that hinge right here down like this. And now you want to rotate this shoulder to be outward like this. The silver panel, I believe, goes up here. Next, you rotate this gas tank right there. Now you pull these panels out, flip them into this orientation there. Rotate that hand, I believe it has to be like that. And now this little lip right there goes under here. And basically, the arm is done right there. Do the same thing over here. Unaccordion everything, flip everything around, rotate this so that this little plastic piece is right there. Bring the gas tank forward. Push this under there. Flip this panel out like this. Rotate the arm like that. So these two will bump up into each other. And I believe you have to fold the hands to this orientation. Clip this under, and that's that. Correction on the arms before we go any further. Don't clip these oil tanks or these blue panels in yet. Leave them out like that. Next, you want to, while the arms are just flopping off to the side, lift this panel up, all the way up, and then it should just come out. Put that panel back. Lift this up, and these ab pieces, this ab piece should come out of the groove and go back like that. The head, I think I finally found the thing that kills me with this transformation, the head. You have to put it into an orientation like this. Don't do this. Put it like this. If you don't put it like that, you'll want to kill yourself. Now you can go ahead, take the arms, peg them together down here, and then these panels right here, clipping together. And what you'll definitely want to make sure is these shoulder joints are flush up against the body right there. Now you can take this part, actually before you put that together, unhinge it. It's usually pegged. You unhinge that, push this up, bring it over the head, get it over his head, and then bring this panel over. Do the same thing over here, push this up, get the panel over his head. Come on. Plug them together. Plug them together. Come on. That's the problem with him having all these panels. Well, maybe I should do this first. And then plug them together. See, what's happening is this is coming apart down here. And if this is not flush, your day will be ruined. And your review will come undone. Okay, that's plugged together. Let's make sure this is hinged together. It's not. That's together. Now bring these panels up. I don't know why this wants to fight me so badly. Come on, you stupid toy. And this is why I cannot believe they put ages 5 and up so they can make money. on the box. Come on. I'm gonna plug these together. Ah! Plug together. Swear to beans if any of this comes undone. I'm gonna cut away and it's gonna be duct tape on this stupid thing. Now that I have this crap plugged together, I mean, you really have to make sure that the head is right. You have to make sure that these things stay plugged in, stay flush right there. Make sure these stay snapped together. And then you have to plug in the windshield. And now that's all of that's done. You can grab these gas tanks and push them into place on both sides. Holy moly. Please let me do this toy. Get in there. What's different? Get the gas tank plugged in there. Then you bring these panels right here, put them in like that. Stick these up like that, but you don't really have to worry about that yet. Go ahead and rock this forward. Over. Yeah. Bring this forward. These came untransformed. Before you bring the top down, you want to make sure that these wheels are pegged into the peg hole right there. So go ahead and peg everything in. Okay, if a Polyon was difficult to transform, this dude, good lord. They put their expert top engineers on this guy and they went overboard. So bring him forward and these parts will clip in underneath of this, which has often given me trouble. Pull that forward as you're bringing it down and snap that together. One side will typically not want to go down, and these are supposed to snap in right there. So make sure you're holding that. It's snapped in. Good. Good, good, good. Now you make sure you push it into the front, and all of that should be firmly together. This back, I'm gonna rotate it up. Rotate these panels out. Spin this around and push it in right there. Open it up like it's a wing. Open that up, spin that around, push that in. And now we're so close. We hinge this forward, put that down there, unhinge these pieces on both sides. So they'll be out of the way. Go ahead and holy moly, it looks like I'm forgetting something because I don't remember a big hollow cap right there. Hold on. I feel incredibly stupid. I'm not forgetting nothing. These, they come up, peg into here. Come on. Peg into there. Pull these windows and make sure they're not smushed in. Then you correct the smokestack. And basically, once you get everything together, you gotta fiddle around with it. Like, make sure you have everything straight. The rear wasn't all the way up. I had to push it up, and once I did that, these rear lights came down to plug into place right there. Then you have to make sure these are squeezed down, and you can bring these legs out and into position. And I do that a lot. Now, he's a freaking truck, and he should roll. He rolls really nice. Whew. Here's a button back here that makes truck noises. And he lights up right there. Of course, you can see all his technical bits inside the windows, and you're wondering who the heck is driving this. This must be a robot truck. Even if you've never heard of a Transformer, you know there's no driver in there. But here he is, and it's a very good representation of what we got in the movie. And he looks basically just like the original version of this guy, because you can't see any of his new parts because they're covered. Smokestacks are movable right there, so you're going to be constantly adjusting them, and they're soft. So you get that colored Autobot logo right there that's actually molded as well. You get that tampoed one right there that you saw in robot mode. But yeah, the details are good. Now let me bring in the jetpack. The jetpack. Basically, it's still just like I left it. Clamp these into place. Go ahead and push this hinge up in there and clamp this into here. And it should be over top of that intake. Same thing over here. Clamp it together. It's over the intake. I'm gonna bring the wings back to keep them from rubbing all over the table. Take these. They should be sticking out this way, so you want to take that round hole and plug it over to the top of the screw right here. They do not stay in securely, which is annoying. Then you take these and bring them down. And now you have the jetpack in its storage mode. Take him. Take this part right here. Put it inside of his trailer hitch here. And now you have a tractor trailer with jet wings. I don't know if they meant for him to be able to fly, because that never happened in the movie. Let me zoom out some. And here's where I can imagine this toy being fun for little kids. Do I recommend it for little kids? No, because I want to keep you out of jail. Because by the time you transform this thing into a truck for them from a robot, it'll be 15 minutes, they'll start doing something else. They'll play with it for about 2 seconds, then they'll be like, Daddy, can you make him back into a robot? And then I see you in jail 10 minutes later. So, let me try to spin this guy around, and you might be able to see outside of my background, but it can't be helped. Here you go. I've orientated the wings like this. Sort of looks like something from Star Wars, but a truck. A flying truck. This is how far, I didn't really show this off, but this is how far the wings can bend forward. And just in case, this is how they look back. Like that. You can bend it up. Bend this up. Like that. Bend it down about that much before it's touching the ground. And bend this one all the way down like that. It has 5mm weapon ports right there. It has a few clip-on points right here in the wings. And there are clip-on points right here that I didn't mention. But all in all, I really like this set. This figure I have liked before I got the jet wings. So it's a good figure. Anyway, and this jetpack is really, really nice. So if you want it, I can't suggest paying more than $100, I guess. I want to say 79, 89, but that's not realistic at this point. So I wouldn't myself pay more than 100 for this. But it is really cool, and it is a nice display piece if you want it. Anywho, I'm done talking about this thing. If you like this video, click the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I would really love that if you subscribe. Share. I would super love that if you shared my videos. This and some other ones. Check out my other videos. I'm going to have other videos that you liked even more than this. I just recently did a Polyon before this. So, until next time, T-Man978, out of here.